Oh, it was a rebellion. You turn around and look.
Yeah.
Say that last.
And yeah, so.
Yeah, that's good. Start.
Now. Yeah.
It's free, so just, so that. You guys have people on. A little bit of burger flows. I'll say.
Yes, but the city does that, you know, he's not dealing with the center. You only use it to, you want.
I got you. I'll do it.
Hey,
I saw the effect. Got my signs. What? Got my signs. Not yet. You ready? Can you hear me? Hear that? We can always hear.
you hear that?
Answers.
It wasn't pink.
Oh, yeah, judge.
Oh, she has new labels.
So this appears.
Better the fastest.
She must have her muted right now.
Okay, anywhere near the camp.
Okay, all right, thanks. Yes. Yes. Now, yeah, now, then. I was on, I see that. Let's turn it into.
Just listen to it.
That was a good one. That was the saying, don't bounce.
I mean, spread.
That's also perfect. You come up with these. Once you're level for freedom, you're crashing. None of your last calls.
If you do it, if you're doing it 10 miles, 10 mile demonstration.
See how much rocks you can dig up.
Yeah, right.
So thanks for keeping it down for you. You did it also, yeah. Be better than them.
It's 9 o'clock. Let's call the Blanco County Commissioners Court to order. It's Tuesday, March 10th, 2016, and that's Ms. Wallow. Call the roll.
Just right,
Here.
Commissioner Weir.
Here.
Commissioner Eager.
Here.
Commissioner Eastman.
Here.
Commissioner Rush.
Here. Join us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the nation, and pledge allegiance to the king, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing.
Heavenly Father, thank you for providing everything we need to stand firm. Your truth, your righteousness, your peace, your word. Please guide our steps, hold our hearts, and lead us through every moment of this day. Father, we ask that you watch over our elected officials. Help them to lead with compassion and humility, always seeking the common good. Bless them with strength in their roles as they serve our county with dedication. May we always be thankful for our blessings and for those that are yet to come. We thank you and we pray this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Item 1 on your agenda is the minutes from the February 24th meeting.
I'll make a motion to dispense with the reading of minutes from February 24, 2026, to accept them as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Mr. Weir, in discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, payroll.
Make a motion to approve the March 2026 payroll, estimated payroll in the amount of $698,872.31.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, all official reports are in and available for your inspection. Yeah.
I'm going to approve the official reports for February 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, line item transfers, there's one for your ratification.
Move to ratify and approve the line item transfer as presented.
Is there a second? Mr. Weir, discussion.
There is 2.
My mistake. Both of them need your ratification.
Yes. 2.
I'll say it.
Motion's made and seconded to ratify both. Is there a discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Item 5. Bills.
I make a motion to approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $421,160.73. And ratify the bills in the amount of $1,781.53.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6. Ms. Persino. No?
I haven't seen her.
I'm sorry.
I have not seen her.
Okay. Gosh, I wonder if we can pass this one and maybe see. You might go later.
On the next, yes. I'll try to get a hold of the record.
So we'll move on from item 6 for right now and go to item 7, office reassignments. There are a couple of items to discuss. The first, and basically asking for the commissioner for approval, if you will. There's no new contracts to be entered into, but it's a lot of change. Ms. Walla and Ms. Doyle have been dancing around this idea for a long time now, and that they are thinking they would like to switch offices so that when the courthouse is finished, Ms. Walla moves over to the space that was occupied by the district clerk, and the district clerk moves into the space that was occupied by the county clerk. There's some, delicate negotiations involved in that because, the county clerk has some records that I don't think will fit in that space in the courthouse. And I think Ms. Doyle is willing to assist with storing some of that stuff. Hopefully, it's the stuff that won't need to be accessed very often, historical records and that kind of thing. And of course, this, I think this is still subject to them, coming to their senses and wanting to go back where they came from, but in case they actually want to go through with this, when the courthouse is finished, in the fall, wanted the commissioners board to have opportunity to know about it, and if you have something to say about it, then or questions, now would be a good time.
Judge, considering that the locations of their respective courts are in the proximity of those two offices, I'd make a motion to allow the district clerk and the county clerk to swap offices.
There a second,
I'll say it.
Commissioner Weir in discussion. All in favor, say aye. And opposed. Motion carries. Secondly, we have the building at 105G and rental space in the old annex, and want to switch the occupants thereof so that Constable 1 would be in the annex space that's currently rented for the county attorney and Kim, and the space in 105G for county attorney Miss Early, Kim, Jack Bacon, Sonia Wright, Mary Sanchez, and Adele Moreland. And in addition to that, move the fire marshal to the south annex in Blanco, where his license is currently being held anyway by the Constable Precinct 4, and insert the IT director into one of the downstairs offices, giving us our conference room back for meetings. And even possibly moving, possibly not moving, still a little flexible at the moment. The seventh member of the county attorney's office, the investigator, but keeping him on the downstairs floor for ADA reasons. Questions, concerns, or thoughts?
Have all parties agreed to that swap?
I didn't know that was a thing. Do you ask your employees which truck they want to drive or what they want to do?
No, but we asked the county attorney of the district or county clerk and the district clerk if they wanted to, so that was fine.
Not really. What really happened is they came to that decision on their own. Didn't have to ask them. In fact, they've been talking about that for a long time.
This move gets them on one roof, right? Pretty much.
Yes, this move gets them under one roof. It utilizes a space that can house 7 better, and it utilizes, well, it just does. The space that they have does not house them.
Would this be a permanent move or would they move back after the courthouse reopens and the county attorney's office moves upstairs to courthouse?
I think all plans are for the county attorney's office to move back to the courthouse when it reopens.
Being able to move everybody back in there, including the, all the parties you were talking about. People back into the courthouse.
County attorney's office.
Yes.
plus the inspect our position that's not open right now. I'm trying to, everybody that's gonna be in the, if we move them over, that whole team is gonna move over here to the courthouse.
That's would be the plan, as far as I know, that was the plan on the left,
Okay. I'm just trying to understand how many people we're,
7.
so.
But, well, in case you're having trouble envisioning it, the reason there'd be room for all 7 where there wasn't before is because some of it been moving around upstairs, but, with, the Kermit's retirement, and some others, space availability, that piece of office will become part of the county attorney's suite.
Which would accommodate everyone.
Yeah,
Are we looking for a motion or?
well, I don't know, I didn't know we were gonna do a motion on the last one, but, I suppose you want to be consistent with the answer to yes.
Where-
Judge, I can say that I prefer for the 2 elected officials to propose that move to us.
And if they don't,
We work out an agreement with them or something, I don't know.
what does that mean?
There's the other commission, the other elected officials not present, so we have one here. We don't have the other one here, so I mean,
How do you work out an agreement that if they don't want to do it? And the math is the math. There's an office, there's a building with space for 7, and there's a building with space for 2, and you have the wrong offices in those 2 spaces. Math is simple.
Mathis and, however, trying to, or if we told Amy he had to get up his office at something. That's, I don't think that that's right without getting his consent or talking to him about that one. Just my opinion.
Well, I hear you, but you and others have talked to me without Emil about a new precinct 2 headquarters. So should we have had him in every one of those conversations as well? When
I haven't referred to the new precinct 2 headquarters, but. I just feel that that would be something that I would want to, being an elected official, I'd want to have a little input in there myself if it was me.
Well, I went into that office knowing that one day that the jail would expand and that possibly a new yard for precinct 2.
I was just using you as an example.
and before we go any further with that, because there's been a lot of talk about that lately, but just so the crowd is clear. The jail population's running in the high 20s, low 30s, somewhere in there on an average basis. It's been higher, it's been lower. I don't know of any plan to expand the jail that.
Yeah, there is no plan that I know of for today, but I moved in there knowing that possibly I would have to move.
I just know a lot of people have been talking about expanding the jail, and I didn't seem like the right time.
Okay.
And I don't want people to get the wrong impression. Well,
So this move would be until we're expecting around October. And then they move them to the courthouse. If we're on target.
the county attorney's booth, I didn't imagine the constables moving to the courthouse.
No. I'm saying
However,
that
the
construction is,
That's not. Out of the question, either.
well, I didn't mean it that way. I was just, we're gonna be supposedly, if we're on target, we're gonna be done with the courthouse probably in October.
Yes.
Okay. So we're asking for the attorneys to move now until October.
Substantial completion and punch list, Monday, October the 19th.
So this move is about to go into this building that we're proposing them to move into is, we're talking about doing that right.
Yes.
How does the legal team come? Mr. Ray, how do you feel about this?
Right now, our office, is very cramped in the annex. We have 3 individuals sharing an office, and so when there's a CPS Zoom hearing, everyone has to leave, except the attorney that's in the hearing. We can't meet with witnesses over in that location. You can try to use the kitchen sometimes in the annex. So I mean, we are cramped, and I'm not aware of any other available space.
When we, first of all, when we rented that space for you all, it was you and Kim sitting next to you. And prior to that, and there were no complaints, but you all were conducting business on a laptop on a picnic table or in somebody's spare office or wherever you could sit.
Or remotely, we wouldn't have to do Zoom hearings remotely at actual residences.
Additionally, we had, at the time that we rented that space, we didn't even have an open records coordinator, body, Ms. Sanchez. We have Ms. Wright.
That is correct, and it's not just CPS hearings, juvenile hearings, no one's left, because they have the closed hearings, so the detention hearings are the same way, so. I mean, yes, our office is not functioning
So we rented the
normally
space,
the way it would be in,
we rented the space for you two, not for five.
that's right.
But moving on there, that would resolve that problem.
It would allow us to have, the attorneys would have the individual offices in order to be able to conduct those hearings.
All right, so I'm gonna move the constable into what we're,
What's the address of the old annex? I'm sorry.
200.
200 Pecan.
G.
G. So move the constable into 200 G building and the county attorney office into the 101 East, 105 East Pecan.
G.
G.
105 North Avenue G.
105 North Avenue G. I'm sorry. I don't know the addresses over here. I should.
There a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Weir, discussion.
Judge, before we move that, I want to also, in my motion, put that the fire marshal will move to the South Annex Constable's office.
Which there's room available for him now, right? Yes, I'll have that as part of my statement.
Further discussion. Um. Today is the 10th. If there is no objection, then you wouldn't have an objection either, right?
In reference to where,
This motion.
I'll object, it's
It's not what I asked. If there is no objection. And you wouldn't have no objection.
Oh, correct, if there was no, if everybody, if the elected officials agreed upon the moving, I would not have a problem with it.
If one did and one did, what would you do?
I hope that the two adult elected officials could work at some sort of agreement. Sharing space, moving space, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs, I don't know where a safe room is that you hold evidence, I don't know if that's capable in the other facility. I don't know what you're opening up.
Just something we can give, a month or so for people to plan on relocating. And as far as trying to figure out where their office is gonna go, where, what they're gonna take with them, how they're gonna need to do it. And do it by this time next month, or is it something that needs to be done immediately?
But again, this is just a math problem, as far as I'm concerned, they're making it work today. There is no emergency, if that's the question. And because there's no emergency, it's why I'm delaying here.
We've got one party that agrees to it. They need the space. And the other party, is you guys are gonna compromise it in any way?
Well, and that's where I was headed, I was thinking about possibly delaying the vote and, let Mr. Lewisman consult.
If the two elected officials agree upon moving and co-locating or sharing office spaces or whatever, does that really need a commissioner's court motion?
Well, neither did,
I agree.
moved to approve.
I agree.
The district clerk in the county.
As it says,
I
I vote on
didn't
it.
really asking for a motion, but it came, so I don't know if these one, but answer your question, if one does, why not the other?
The reason I made the motion because it says vote on any action taken, so that was the reason for the motion.
Well, we put that in case we're all going to take action. So this everything's gonna be action, and as a matter of fact, I thought I made it clear that, that's why I was a little concerned about the motion, but all you did was authorize it, and that's fine. Because I think they could change their mind between now and then, and that's up to them. To me,
No objection to that.
so back to the one in hand. What were you saying on motion?
I think that the two elected officials, if they can work out an agreement, that they can co-locate or move things around here or there, that I don't know that is required to go, or necessity to go through commissioner's court. I think that's employees, elected officials working with elected officials for the betterment of the county.
So the thing is that, the law is pretty clear that the county commissioner's court controls county property. County commissioner's court doesn't control, officers and how they conduct their business. But you do control this facilities.
I agree.
Well,
But we put a safe in one of the rooms for evidence, correct?
Can that be relocated?
well, it's been relocated several times.
So that's what I'm saying, if the two departments can work together on a temporary arrangement, I have no problem.
I think we all vote on. Got the motion, we got the second.
Motion second. Further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And opposed, He's releasing that. But. Item eight, help desk contract.
So speaking with the IT, yesterday, I don't think he is ready to make a decision on this specific vendor at this time. And he is in the room if you have any questions for him.
Well, yeah, I have questions more for you, because the last meeting, you asked, and we put it off, because I believe your words were that the county attorney's office hadn't had a chance to go through it thoroughly.
The original contract that was submitted was very, very vague. There was about 3 pages of corrections that TAC recommended that we make to the contract that they provided.
Okay.
Ms. Ashby worked with the vendors and TAC. I don't know if TAC ever got back to you. But they have worked diligently on this contract to make an amazing improvement.
Right.
However, in talking with Mr. Nagel, I do believe, and I wonder that if this contract and this company that we're contracting or proposed to contract with is the best fit for the county.
Yeah, you asked him to, run the company, right?
I did.
And it was based on,
Monitoring the cybersecurity, emails, internet. More of a monitoring company and as opposed to more of a proactive as a to a reactive sentiment.
oh, I thought it was based on a recommendation by your counterpart in Llano County.
This is a company that Loudoun County does use. And the people that I've talked to, they are very happy with it. And they do charge a monthly fee for monitoring services, where this company is an hourly fee for remedies to fix and to work on things that Mr. Nagel needs.
And what do they monitor?
They monitor your emails, they monitor websites trying to hack into our system. Chris, can you elaborate any more on what all the monitoring is?
Primarily, they're gonna monitor. Sure. Primarily, they're gonna monitor, if we decide to go that route, which that's not a requirement with that group. But if they're gonna be monitoring it, they're gonna be monitoring, PCs, making sure that they're within specs, servers, make sure that they're within specs on performance. Metrics, network, making sure that our network is where it needs to be, that wasn't in the, initial proposal. By the way, but that is an option as well.
What are we talking about? The company Commissioner Lisbon wants is 151 miles from here, so are we talking about, when you say they, I don't know what they are.
Biz Protect. That's the Commissioner Leeson, brought forward.
And did you just say it's not in the agreement, but it can be?
That's correct, for network monitoring.
Network monitoring. The other stuff we're talking about, computer monitoring.
That's-
in the contract.
That's, as far as what I've read, it is,
And they're gonna do all that remotely.
or on site. If they have to be on site, there's a $300 charge plus time. They are 3 or 4 hours away, that's a concern of mine. Remote access is a concern of mine, but it's a concern not with just Biz Protect or help desk, it is a concern.
What's the concern with this other company?
Help desk,
Yes.
the lack of county exposure or public entity exposure. They have primarily been focused on private entities. They do have one public entity right now, City of Sunrise Beach. But that is their limited exposure to public entities.
And after talking to you yesterday, you are looking at some other agencies as well, right?
Yes, yes. If we open up remote access, I'm also looking at Prescriptive, which is the group that's helping us migrate to MS 365. My thought was on that, they're gonna be have intimate knowledge of our environment because of what they're doing. And they will be able to help us on a support basis from that standpoint.
Can you tell the court more about what you said when you said if we open up remote access? Because the last thing I heard out of everyone was remote access was a concern for security.
So
Well, which is,
it's a security concern,
it is, but it's not enough that we don't mind doing a little hiring, having remote access. I'm just.
what I envision is that they adhere to the CJIS compliant remote access software. The one that I know right offhand is Beyond Trust. We use it a lot with NetData for support and have no issues utilizing that software for remote support.
You do on-site people?
What you,
Oh, you mentioned, yes.
yes, both of them do.
Both of them on-site, where are they office now?
The help desk is officed out of Sonora's Beach, Mobile Falls, so they're here 30 minutes. The other group, Net Protect, is officed out of Illinois, so it's 34 hours.
So does Biz Protect, currently out of Limros, do they currently, have one of our Netgear servers already under contract? Do they not have any of our,
Of our equipment?
yes, are you sure?
As far as I know,
I thought they said that they did, they already had some of our, I thought that they said that they already had some of our equipment in their works through the NetData equipment.
okay, so for that point, they have experience with NetData and how it works. So they have that knowledge already. For them to have equipment on our site, they do.
So they don't have anything to do with our NetData that we currently have.
That's correct.
Well, this conversation would be more clear to me. Is it possible that they have services they provide net data?
Biz providing services to NetData,
Yes,
not that I'm aware of.
but is it possible?
I suppose it's possible.
And if they did, it's possible that they would touch our, as we are a net data customer, they would touch our stuff as well. If it's on a net data, so
Right, that would be possible, yes. Typically, a large support with NetData is this from NetData, and we go direct to them. So that, I'm not using that as a plus or a minus, just as a placeholder in there that they have experience with NetData. This is Net Protect I'm talking about.
So would it be your recommendation for the court to let you evaluate different IT firms? To bring a recommendation and score them somehow and bring that back to the court to make a contract with a specific IT solutions department or company?
I think that'd be the best approach. Now that we have the contract, almost the contract back from TAC, we have something to go off of. We can then present or have that and say, okay, this protect, these are our requirements. Can you adhere to this? If not, okay. And if so, then we can put them on our short list. That's that's what I'm thinking right now.
when the decision was made to hire you as the IT administrator, it was completely clear to me, and I think clear to everyone, that there needed to be and there needed to be more than just you in the IT department. And you will recall, I sent a memo out very shortly thereafter saying it was of the utmost importance that you find some backup.
Sure.
And that was like August and September. And so here we are in March, and now you all are talking about looking some more. That's great, we want the right fit. I certainly don't disagree with that. I'm just wondering how much longer do you need to gather this pool of applicants that the commission's court can consider?
I'd like to have 3 to 5 possible candidates. To present. How long that's going to take, I've been working on this since last year, trying to find the group, the majority of them don't want anything to do with this. Because of our on-site requirement. They only want to do remote support. So that's where the challenge has become, our challenge is the on-site requirement.
Which is vital to us, right?
Is
It's
what-
vital to us to have on-site service. And this company said it would,
Both companies will,
but they're 3 to 5 hours out. One way.
for the business type, yes,
And are these 2 of your 5?
they will be, yes. Yes, because I think they both can meet the needs of us, it's just, we have some concerns with time and, the length, amount of time it would take for the on-site. And the lack of, with the lack of, public entity relationships.
But if I'm a deputy out on a call in the middle of the night and I get locked out of my stuff. Is there an issue with doing the remote access to get them back in and up and running?
So long as they're compliant, I have no issue with that.
And so in Biz Protect, and I'm not just saying, that they said that they are not certified for CJIS, but they are compliant and they've been through DPS audits.
Certified but not compliant.
Okay.
Yes.
So they've been through DPS audits and they've passed their DPS audits, correct? To be determined if you.
What does that mean, certified but not compliant?
Means that the program they're using meets all the needs of compliancy,
Is CJIS
CJIS.
certified?
but they haven't gone the next step to actually become compliant. To apply for the compliancy.
Who decides that, CJIS? Well, I get it. Commissioner Lee's been some more about it, maybe I can't get in, but by the same token, the law enforcement center, the tax assessor, what they have other lines to other agencies and other entities and is I wrong, but it seems like there are certain times when things are really complicated and desperate, that you need a body present, not a one person.
That would be true for us.
Are there, what is in your own case, are there times when you need to be here to fix something as opposed to doing it from your dining room?
If it's a network issue, I have to be on site. If that, last week,
We have network issues sometimes.
sometimes. A couple weeks ago, we had this whole complex went down.
Isn't the point is if you're on vacation or sick or whatever, this, whatever company is that they didn't fix the network for us. Right then, right?
That's what my take on it is.
And in fact, in this service level agreement that y'all have been working on, isn't that a critical issue? That's the top issue.
So
I'm impatient.
on site is a big component of this. Whether we want to admit it or not, it is. Having a warm body here, makes all of it.
Okay, so back to my question, you're hoping to bring BizPro. What's the other one?
Help desk. Help desk,
Help Desk and maybe 3 others, if you can find them. Back to the court.
Yeah.
And so my question still stands, can we get a target or how long we think of that?
how about next commissioner's work?
That's as close as we can get.
I'll have something about it.
Anyone else?
Is that, are y'all waiting for a response from TAG?
Yes,
Is that in that window, I mean, can you do it within a couple of weeks?
yes, they should be back to shortly.
Alright, so we're going to pass it on the rate. And we'll have it again on the next agenda, but it'll look different because. It could be one or several potential vendors.
Thank you, Chris.
I asked to put the sick leave rule policy on number 9, but as of late this morning. I'm told that we can't do anything about that it's a legal impediment. We can't do anything about the situation. The situation being, as I understand it, I'm certainly open to hear if I don't understand this correctly, that the rules or the law requires us to keep a bank of our for whatever reason, I disagree with the rule or the law because, I don't know, the county gets nothing out of it. It's not a bank of money. It's not even, it's not even counties anymore. So it's the individuals and the individual decides to donate. But, the way it's set up now for a small county like ours, I suppose it works fine if you're in Harris County, but for a small county like ours, you wind up, if I had 40 hours of sick leave and I wanted to donate it to the bank. So, and hope that it can be used, only 13 of it's going to be used and 27 of it's going to be banked for some future date. And, that's the rules, I guess. And I was hoping that the commissioners court could change that, but I'm now under the impression that, maybe Ms. Early, maybe they want to speak to this. I'm now under the impression that we can't change the rules, that it's a legislative matter, possibly.
That's my interpretation based on Attorney General opinions, not with this specific provision, but just state provisions.
Can I just come up because he has now? And by the way, we're coming up, so the courts wanted a 6-week rule. And they meant at least once or twice. And I'm under the impression that members of that rule don't necessarily do any better than I do about the rules, it's just the rules of the rules.
I mean, that's what the statute says. So, yeah, and my assistant county attorney, Sonia Rye, she and I both looked at case law, which we didn't find anything yesterday, but again, attorney general opinions interpreting state statutes, because the state has had a sick leave pool much longer than counties have been authorized to do sick leave pools. It is our interpretation that that part of the statute is mandatory and cannot be changed.
So the AG has looked at it,
Not the county.
on state.
They've looked, yes, and they've interpreted other provisions, like subsections within that specific section, about counties. And have held that the others are mandatory, so there's no reason to believe that this one wouldn't be mandatory as well. That's my interpretation. So it appears that whatever is in the pool, 2/3 of the pool must remain in there. And so you can award the lesser of the maximum amount allowed by the county as far as pool hours. The lesser of that or 1/3 of what's in the pool.
So does that mean that the pool is always growing?
That's correct. Yes,
And
right. So I don't see how we can get around that provision. So the safety pool as written tracks the language of the statute.
what's the logic for a county like Blanco to just have this sick leave pool that just keeps growing and growing in hours that you can't use?
Well, again, I think it's the availability of it for an employee who suffers a catastrophic injury or illness, that those hours are available in the future. My understanding also from reading Attorney General opinions is that it prevents it from being, I don't want to say discriminatory, but it prevents conferring a greater benefit to one employee versus another if you always have to maintain a 2/3 balance in the pool. And you're not depleting the pool for one employee and not leaving something available for another employee should they apply. And that was one of the Attorney General opinions.
Just want to make sure I understand how this thing works. So if I give 3 hours, 2 of them are staying in the pool.
That's correct, in one request by one employee. Now, if multiple employees apply, it's again reduced to what they get. And then if someone reapplies, say, 2 paychecks later, that same person has the same qualifying event and reapplies, you again look at the pool as a whole, and you have to leave 2/3 in. So it's based upon every time there's a request of what's available.
Still don't get the logic of why we would want to grow or sick leave.
And again, it's based on statute, and again, what I've read is, the state was designed one way, and then the county statutes came about. I don't know if it was 15 or 20 years later, but it didn't come about until 1993. So the county said the full statute out of it, and they're as long as the state statutes.
Well, the proposed action that I was thinking of, you know, outlined isn't possible. But I thought that there was somebody in here that had another idea. And there was a pool. No,
I don't know, we had the same issue as Mrs. Irvin did, but just as she did, I got a copy of the AG's sick leave policy in that same paragraph. I got last night, it's in there.
Andrew Todd,
It looks like our answer to that is
so nobody has any other.
minus the, I mean, the only benefit is if a individual can reply every pay cycle, and hopefully that pool grows. And that balance of funds is a little bit more, getting a little more. Minus that and advertising that we have this with my employees. I locked up.
If you accumulate hours and we realize in a year or two that this isn't working, what do you do with those hours? Do they just, if you stop the program and say, or can you? She started.
I would have to look into it. I would assume that those hours are lost because the way the policy is written is it can't be given back to the employee who donated.
Program stopped,
Right.
and it will just dissolve. Gotcha.
Are you satisfied with the AG opinion as it applies to the state programs? Such that you wouldn't want to ask the AG about a county program? Is there not enough difference in the organic statute or the language to bother with it?
I don't think there's just enough of a difference. Not around.
And uses the same 1/3 terminology both.
Well, thank you and Tommy Reed
And so
who?
Sonia Ryder.
Oh, sorry, right.
the only other, it was the first time we met, the only other issues we had were from requirement standpoint, was requiring the obligation that we need. It's the first time, so. That will prove that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing to do with 9, so I think that takes us to 10 and then depository appeal.
Make a motion to approve, amendment to the current depository original index original bank pending county attorney approval.
Is there a second? Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 11, a code file final payment.
I make a motion to authorize the county treasurer to pay code file invoice from the special fund 17,400,125 as final payment that hasn't been paid to.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 12. Ties old violent veterans.
Move to declare the Singer vinyl cutter in the inspector's office as surplus and authorized to destroy.
Is there a second? Second. Mr. Eager, in discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And when both Ms. Wallet and Ms. Doyle, the county clerk and district clerk have achieving their, whether we have required in education and seek your recognition.
Move to recognize that Laura Walla and Celia Doyle have completed the required 20 hours of continuing education for 2025 as prescribed in section 51.605 of the Texas Government Code.
Is there a second?
Nothing.
Commissioner Weir, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we do anything with these certificates, like, publicize them anywhere, or we?
I do not publicize them. I would assume that they just go in their personnel files.
Okay. Item 14, community development block grant is QC, are you having? Good one.
So our story committee, reviewed. How many instruments? Five?
Hold on,
Five?
hold on. We will take care of the 14 folks.
Yeah.
We'll start the
Yeah, the first one is the resolution.
Oh, yes.
signature. I'll make a motion to authorize to adopt the resolution to designate the signator for the Texas Community Development Block Grant for Judge Bason.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Riley, in discussion, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 15 is about possible selection of an engineer under that grant.
Yes, so after scoring, the firm that scored the highest was Felix Zollers out of Austin. And they were scored solely based on like their qualifications on paper and like the references. And so they've done a lot of projects in our region, a lot of road construction, a lot of federal funded projects, so. They naturally have the CDBG scoring sheet. Had the right qualifications.
And that's what you say is recommended to procure their services.
Yes. And so based on the grant, we're required to go with the most qualified candidate, so. I don't,
Then we don't go get the grant.
what?
Either we choose the one with the highest score or we don't apply for the grant.
Correct.
So I make a motion to approve and engage the engineer for the Texas Community Development Block Grant for Hewitt Zollers as recommended by the scoring committee.
Is there a second? Commissioner Weir, discussions. Were there any of the five that were, you said that Hewitt Zollers was out of Austin? Were there any of the five that were more local?
There was Casey Engineering out of Marble Falls.
And they scored pretty high.
Yes, they're third. And I can't remember what category precisely, like, got them a few less points.
But you said a few less points, but do you not get points if you're close or local?
So the way they set it up is if like we go to our scope meeting with Hewitt Zollers and we can't come to like an agreement of what we wanna do or what they paid or all that, then we move on to the second highest. And so if we can't make it work with Hewitt Zollers, we would move to Jacob Martin, and then if we couldn't make it work with Jacob Martin, then we could consider.
I get how that works. I was just asking if we score things. If somebody's in Ball versus Austin, and you get points for that or not.
Yeah, so there's a category for like experience in your region. And it was one of the higher rated ones, and so.
So even with those points, they still wind up 8 points shy of.
Right.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 16.
I think it's also.
I want you, I'm sure you have some things you want to say, but I just wanted to quickly say, I don't think we have any of your committee members here today.
Correct, I think they're watching, but they are.
Okay, but I did want to say. I was going through. Your memo on the process that they went through, and, you know, I was regarding maybe the opposed to this committee idea. When we started down the process of the hot packs, those hot pumps, and, I was wrong, it's been a very good addition to the process. But more importantly, I was very impressed with, I guess their dedication. It seemed like there's a little, based on what you described, they must have really worked hard at it.
Yeah, there was a lot of like wringing of hands, worry over like, because they're all part of the community. And so they want their fellow community members to succeed. And in Waco County, we all kind of help each other out, so. They wanted to help when they could.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, so we had 3 applications that they considered that were submitted by February 1st. And they were the Texas Wine Auction Foundation, Twin Sisters Dance Hall, and the old Waco County Courthouse.
Just so you know, so you're not surprised, we gave the commissioners the 2 additional, I think it's 2 additional applications that the committee followed the rules and said they were not timely.
Correct.
Okay, but I want to know that they have those.
Yes. Because ultimately, like, it's y'all's decision whether y'all accept the recommendation or want to do something different. But the highest scoring application was the Texas Wine Auction Foundation. Because they had really the best like data to show like, okay, this is how much we brought in the past, this is what we expect to bring in this year. And they're moving an event that was in Gillespie County into Waco County. So it already has some following that they're bringing in. And so they requested $35,000, but the best return on investment the committee felt was $25,000, just because it is kind of shared with Gillespie County, so we can get a good return on our investment there. Their second recommendation was for the Twin Sisters Dance Hall, specifically their website. They scored 71% overall, and they had several projects listed, but the one that had the most direct connection to the heads and beds in Waco County was getting their website updated, and that was the cost of that was $2,500. And we really wanted to see them like grow their website, get more ticket pre-sales, so then they can have kind of a better idea of who's coming into Waco County based on their events. Cause they had a lot of like anecdotal data, like, oh, I talked to a guy who was from out of town or out of state, but not a lot of like hard data of people staying in Waco County or traveling to Waco County for their things. So that was what they wanted to kind of encourage in their application. And then the third application was the courthouse, which their restoration project, the committee did not see a direct connection to bringing hotel guests to Waco County. And so like they recognize that there's a lot of ways that the old Waco County courthouse does bring visitors in and that they could use the funds, but the particular project they included didn't hit the marks for the committee. So they did not recommend funding on that project. And so to total, we had $50,000 of funds available, but total recommendation was $27,500. And so there's still money to save for future rounds or to play with. And
You remember the deadline for the next round.
July 1st.
So if somebody has a July 4th event that they're interested in getting hot funds for, July 1st isn't gonna work.
I would not imagine.
So, which is one of the reasons why I have it in the packet today, if the commissioners don't want to consider it. Because that's the case.
Right.
When we look at all the event stations. The wine auction is just very well done, it's particularly you.
Right.
See what you're trying to do.
Yes.
The other, all the others were.
They-
Challenging.
Yeah, they were more challenging either. Like they didn't spend as much time on them, or it's just their ability, because I understand like not everyone has. A huge technical background to really like flush out marketing that.
You tell the board your reviews. Maybe get them to tell you their reviews. Because I don't think it with the committee entirely, I think they think that. To be heads and heads, it's more. Whatever their funding has to be more of a performance. So, and I think that sometimes capital improvements on a facility that's in place for your tourists. Is important also, I'm not sure that they see it that way.
And I know a lot of people that travel to just see courthouses, and like both of our courthouses kind of have a colorful history of Blanco County in them. And so I think also the requested amount was over twice as much as our available fund. So we didn't want to like put something out there that was insulting to their application. But it also, the committee and then me, I guess, we didn't see how like specifically the doors to the courthouse were the draw to the courthouse. That makes sense, because that was what they wanted to. Like renovate. Needed a lot to do, that's, I know courthouse is new.
So the commissioners, whatever your preference is, what we could do is. You could take up Kelly's recommendations. And then go through the most money, the ones that were denied. Or you can do another one, how you want to start.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendations from the top fund committee. And award the Texas Wine Auction Foundation $25,000, the Twin Sisters Dance Hall Foundation $2,500. And then the next time your group meets, y'all can review the other one, and if y'all have a recommendation to bring back to the court, we'll look at it at that time.
There a second? Second. Commissioner Riley, discussion. I meant to ask you before, by moving it into Blanco County from Gillespie County, is that a one-time thing, or are we hoping to keep it here?
I mean, I'm hoping to keep it here, but I think,
Sorry.
I'm personally hoping to keep it here just because it's a good event.
I guess I was wondering what you. True. We both hope to keep it here, I'm wondering what you think the odds are on.
I'm not sure, they have it hosted out of Plainview County Vineyard and like blocked out rooms there, so I don't know if they plan on bouncing it back and forth, or if it depends on where they get the best draw or best accommodations, or I'm not sure. I don't think they mentioned their future plans, just that. It's just moving on.
But I guess we must be competitive with it when we deal with it.
Right.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Does that mean we don't want to take up any of the others? Because specifically, the Johnson City request. if you don't. I don't see how, if we don't take it up today, that it would be, that we would be able to fill the back for what's.
Right, because we would. Review them, yeah, that would be a plausible timeline to review it after July 1st.
And their request is for 5,000, 4,000.
I don't have, I'm sorry.
Anyone wishes to talk about it?
Your committee meets again when?
After the next application cycle. So, or probably right before, so somewhere in the July 1st quarter.
There were a couple applications, you just missed the timeframe, so.
Right, so one of them was, it's postmarked for February 5th, I believe, and then the other one was emailed in. The Monday after.
So they can resubmit, not folks.
Correct, yeah, I don't think the February 5th one was as time sensitive as the July.
Well, if there's nothing else. Then I guess we'll move to item 17.
Thank you.
Hospital usually in body cameras.
I move to authorize precinct 4 constable's office to apply for a grant through the SRT PWC program, provide 2 additional body cameras for their personnel.
Is there a second? Second. Sure, you're for discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. And then 3 of the commissioners under item 18 have completed their continuing educations for the year. Commissioners Leeson, Riley, and Weir, and we want to recognize them.
Move to acknowledge continuing educations for commissioners Leisman, Riley, and Weir.
Is there a second? Motion for discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Savile Ranch Development.
So this is a subdivision, a new subdivision with 34 lots. And off of Cypress Mill Road. Connie, I believe everything has been submitted by Doucette and approved by Doucette. Everything has been approved by Bishop, or not Bischoff, and then Fiesler. So the water availability. The only thing that I have, and I thought Ron would be here today, was in this documentation that Ron provided back to us. It's not numbered on pages, but on the drawdown test. Where it had the pump start and pump stop. It's just a misprint on the date on the pump stop, I believe. It probably should have been 5-1 instead of 4-1. So.
Okay, that wasn't.
It started on the 4:30, and maybe ended on 5:1, and he's got it 4. So if I can just get that fixed, which I don't see any problem with that.
What document are you looking at? Yeah.
Mr. Fiesler's recommendation. It's just a drawdown test.
So so based on the conversation from the last meeting. All of this documentation and study is done by another engineer and Fiesler examines the report, and then Fiesler represents us independently. And studies what the other engineers did and says yes or no, roughly.
Correct.
Okay, so this drawdown study, drawdown test was actually done by somebody else that he examined.
Correct.
And
So they started the pump test at 9:03 on April 30th. And they stopped it at 9:22 on May 1st. And they should have, so it's just before, it's been 5, it's just a misprint on that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about this, great, I'm about what I'm. Moved to them is get the graph.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's that's the name of it, that's the name of the right drawdown. True. But.
And they're covered. So after the pump stopped, see how it recovered back up to the green line?
After Ron decided that he did not meet all requirements, they go back in and fix that.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, the three things that had issues with, they went back and corrected.
Okay.
So, with all that being said, I make a motion to approve the Saddle Ranch Development Project.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Riley, in discussion. All in favor, say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Replat. Martin Jeffers.
Just a standard replat for Rocky J. Turn two lots into one, so I move to approve the replat of lots 593 and 594 in the Rocky J subdivision, the new lot to be known as 593R.
Is there a second? I'll second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. Very chance. All in favor, say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Yesterday at around 11:12, I lifted the running ban. In accordance with the order that the commissioners report had in place. It was set to expire, the burn ban was set to expire today at noon. So I rested with the comfort of two things. One, waking up in the morning and seeing kind of moist conditions in the area with humidity and not much wind. And having a lot of people texting me and emailing me about how much they have to burn. And want to burn. And so I really feel very comfortable knowing that in less than 24 hours, you all would be taking them to Burlington and deciding what you want to do. I did notice that at 3:45 yesterday, Governor Abbott renewed a what quite say the words, but it's under the relevant statute for a disaster declaration, and it includes Blanco County as part of an ongoing drought area and subject to relaxing or eliminating certain regulatory restrictions in order to prevent burning. It doesn't say that exactly, but it seems to be the gist of what it does. But there are, I don't know, I didn't count the number of counties, it looks like at least a third of the state who has been, who is included in this proclamation, excuse me. I did consult with the fire marshal, was meeting with you yesterday. You want, you want to say anything?
Yes, so the judge reached out, in the favorable conditions, it was very mission to lift the burn ban for a short time until we could leave the board. The question came up, because it often happens in neighboring counties, especially in Clinton County, is the authority they have to temporarily lift the burn ban for 24 or 48 hours. So we're researching that. Because the board doesn't, they meet every Thursday, but of course they did it all on Monday, so they wouldn't have time to meet. If we can figure out a way in the statute to do this, I think it's very beneficial. We will have a burn ban in place and the conditions are favorable that way or that next day after a significant amount of rain to be able to temporarily lift the burn ban and allow people to burn. with that being said, that was successful as of this morning, we logged 18 control burns and 0 were out of control. But as of today, there's a storm coming in, wind gusts are going to increase and then we're going to draw it out, so. I think it was a good idea to allow people to burn while they could, more to prevent some of that growth, but it gets really bad in the summer, and then as of today, my recommendation would be to put the burn ban back into place to get more rain in the future.
So, and just to clarify a couple of things, because I'm not sure that they caught the meeting and then. So Comal and some other counties somehow. Think that the county judge or somebody, maybe you will sign off on, can lift the burn ban and then put it back on.
That's what it reads
And
on their Facebook.
it has been counsel from the County Judges and Commissioners Association Legal Counsel in Allison, wherever, that, and it's written that the county judge, if the court allows a county judge to lift the burn ban, that's it. A county judge can't put it back on, only the commissioners can put it back on. That's always been my understanding. So I don't know, I mean, Comal County or some of these places do.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, that's how it's reads in the government code. I did reach out to the fire marshal before, but maybe I'm kind of asked how they do this, I just haven't got a response yet to share the report. Is there other counties that just come out that somehow get a rain and say there's a temporary lift and we're going to go right back in effect? From my knowledge, means with it.
Unfortunately, conservative that, but, I'm looking at like the rain chances now and today and tomorrow, and then how it very much dries out the rest of the week. Okay. And, my research says that a commissioner's report can impose a burn ban prospective. So in other words, if the commissioner's report wanted to, I'm not asking them to do what they're saying they should, but if they wanted to, they could say, we are enacting a burn ban will be effective 48 hours from now.
Okay,
If they wanted to.
that's correct. I know today with the storm, I know push it until tonight, but the wind gust are gonna be in the 20s. Or sustained in 20 with gusts by 25 to 30, which will dry out whatever we have on Sunday and Monday pretty quickly. That's why and from the direction of the fire chiefs from an email, which they all agreed in a joint one this time. They would like to burn it in case that can affect today. Yes. This time I got it right.
What about those that's got fire right now?
Well, they heard this morning, supposed to have burn out, and they're so discretion, so once called in, I have to go, and I know they burned that morning. Just want to make sure it's kind of control where it's set out.
So I think that I think it's optional language or discretionary language. When the commissioner's court puts in there. Authorizes the county judge to lift it later if the conditions look right. They don't have to do that. They can move that out of the order. Right, yes, so that the only way to lift the burn ban would be for the court to meet again. That's when it expires when it expires. Have you ever seen a county commissioner court order where it authorized the fire marshal to lift the burn ban?
I have not, but that's why I asked Corey, since the main guy's name from the fire marshal's office, because he's the one that seems to post the lives, and it's never around the same time as commissioner's court, it's every Thursday. So that's why I asked, does the county judge, or do you somehow have the ability to look at burn bans?
So this is to be continued.
I would say to be continuing, and my recommendation would be to impose a burn ban today. Why I got a other information on temporary lifts. That section.
So your opinion is, if we were to put a burn ban on, it would be to start today at noon,
Right.
as opposed to maybe waiting until Friday or Saturday?
My only fear is that he's stormed back the way.
Wait a minute. So are you talking what you want to do or could, should I not, but say you couldn't delay?
You could, say what you couldn't, I just, if you rescinded the burn ban yesterday. And then. The probability of rain tonight is. 60%, I don't know.
I'm down to 15.
It is, it is.
I got some negative Nellies over here, and I also have some in my office that say it's not gonna rain, however.
If I can buy all.
Well, last 12 hours, it came from 47% probably. I mean, the one I'm looking at, went from a 47% probability to a 24% probability, so it's trending down.
It is dropping.
I've got 50% through Lucy.
Are you on Android?
That means 50% won't get any rain.
That's tricky, I mean, storms, afternoon showers. I mean, we know that's in our weather meetings that. We could put down for it, did not know it's on the radar. I do understand what Commissioner Wilson said, to adjust if it did. So, but that gives them a bit more that you could set it in the future, I don't know if I'm pushing for Friday, maybe Thursday. Then the two options I see are do it now or maybe let the burn in. Stay with it until.
I am, just, I will, whatever you want to do, like I said, the other day, I was secure with the knowledge that you'd be addressing it in less than 24 hours, and it was fine with me if you put it back on, I didn't care.
So my two options would be this, I'll make up the report. Would be now or Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Wednesday at 5 p.m. So,
Gives time for people to burn that day and hopefully. The road stations down to. Smaller base by that time.
And it's something that we haven't said yet out loud, there's the moisture component, but there's also the wind component.
There's some component, but if now, and I guess the storm is gonna push like this, then. That's gonna limit how much wind we get as well. No. Yeah, wind does start today.
That's what I thought I had.
At 2 p.m. Or that's the state. So I'm gonna stick with my recommendation, that post it now. Take that every day.
You do it, you have to do it for a full month.
No,
You do it,
you can do it for any period you want up to 9 days.
and you can do it till the next meeting. Good.
Thursday.
Now, stop.
Oh, I thought they would have been. I would say put it on for a month, and then if we get in time to do research on the other option, temporary lifts, and we can monitor the weather.
But just to be clear, if you put it on to the next commissioner's court, then you can probably take it up to the next commissioner's court. But if you put it on for a month, you can still take it up to the next commissioner's.
Sure. When is that day? 24th.
yes.
I'll make a motion to put burn ban on until the 24th.
Starting when?
Go ahead.
Starting when?
Excuse me, starting now, or at noon today, excuse me.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Riley, discussion?
What's the the line item? What the happens in our-
Have y'all seen that last green grass where they burn that field out there? Golly, these things.
They did use the birds.
Yeah, I got some.
Is there a general sentiment about taking out the part about the county benefiting?
No. Keep that in the.
Okay.
I didn't hear that, would it?
If there's no further discussion, All in favor, say aye. And opposed, motion carries.
Six,
Get away with that.
six.
I did get a hold of Jackie. She ended up having an appointment out of town, so asked if we could put this on the 24th.
Can you, hang on for just a second? Yes. So the item that's up is a 2026 car show. Like put on my Pine Street, taking up a lot of the square.
October 24th.
October 24th. What day is it? Saturday? Is that Saturday and early voting day?
This,
It is,
this was what
and the hockey room will be used. And the proposal says that is proposing to block off entrances from Nugent to Pecan and Cypress. And what I'm, and they want to use all of the parking lot for these vehicles. If what if the, it's just an idea, and I don't know if it's gonna go, I don't think anybody's gonna. What if the street were blocked off about halfway in? So that there was also that all the parking spaces in front of your voting center were still available.
because we got bigger vehicles. During when they did trunk or treat, it was kind of a nightmare out there. With the roads being blocked off, but we paid a lot of parks.
Yeah, so I'm saying the barriers would start maybe about where. The entrance is somewhere in the middle there. And the road would be open onto Nugent. From your living center. Not good.
I would say no, but you want to talk to somebody that. Could figure out.
So you think it needs to be the entire Cypress Street open?
It is going to be this election. We'll see if it makes sense.
Any chance of doing a signage, that's a Saturday, so there should not be order anything going on, so the back parking lot should be available.
We can do that, but people usually just go where they're used to going and start holding signs.
And the curbside has to stay right.
Yes.
Why?
20 like easy distance to that with the equipment.
Like Wi-Fi.
They can. They have the curbside equipment that they have to roll out there. They have to go out, have them with the pull pads.
And that typical election won't be till 7 o'clock at night, or what's that typical time frame?
Saturdays usually 7 to 7.
7 to 7.
If you look at the diagram, it seems that they are proposing. Parking spaces along Cypress and along but it doesn't really look like they're utilizing G to its fullest. And, part of that might be The spaces that are identified are the public spaces that associated with the townhouse, and the spaces on the other side of people's private businesses. He's trying to have jam more cars into less space and keep Cypress Street open.
South Street is marked, the city street is marked separate, I mean, when the parking is as a whole. When you pull up to the stop sign facing the north, the street is there, probably annex, but
Are you thinking,
isn't it striped all the way down?
Stripe, are you thinking maybe bigger area, just the parking lot as you inside of the other?
Yeah, leave it open like a regular street, if we do that on Michael Avenue. Give them those, you just drive through there. Just call it off. And we could also put some signs or I don't know, Commissioner Leesman, could we use a reader board or something that allowing voters to park in behind the north entrance? Just so that we can know that it's back there.
Additional parking.
But if we was to, just request them not to block off Cypress Street. And then we,
If everything.
but leave the street open, the way people can park, for voting, and we'll put message boards up for additional parking in the back. I see where they want to put porta potties and everything else.
To be, the back one would have to be limited by a voter party, and not, otherwise you'll have participants of the car show park there.
You're just thinking,
I'm saying if you just went from the courthouse over, just leave it open, I mean, if they park their cars there, they can park their cars there, but as long as you're not putting barricades up on the street to think that any voter says the road's closed. Would be my fault, I don't know.
well, when you say park their cars, are you talking about the show cars?
You just park, you can park shit over there, but you can't barricade it off.
There's gonna be a lot of people walking to.
That's true, that's,
Well,
the risk that day.
what would be wrong with barricading?
I just don't want, I guess to the point of, you know, during the, I do remember the trick or trunk, whatever it was called. And the barricades going all the way out to the highway section, it leads for a misconception of it's closed, I can't go on.
It was closed. There was a police vehicle parked on the middle of the street at an angle that you couldn't get around it.
You had early voting at that time,
And people complained bitterly.
so let's stop that complaint, and do that again.
Agreed. But that's because the street was closed, and I'm saying if we, that is a big parking lot over there.
Yeah,
You could barricade it off.
I mean, car show will have to adapt to whatever's available, and if you leave Cypress Street open, give them the slack.
In the voting cycle, is that like the first weekend, the last weekend, is it in the middle? So it's kind of maybe a low, you have a high peak and a low and a high peak at the end.
This car show couldn't be handled earlier, could it?
This is what was presented, and unfortunately, she's not here today to tell us.
You mean earlier on the calendar?
Yeah. So it wouldn't conflict with, voting.
You'll be on either side, well, no, wait a minute, it runs for 2 weeks, doesn't it?
But we don't know.
Is this early enough that, we can do some more investigating and maybe bring it back to the court next time?
Yes, sir.
Let's do that. Is there
Make a motion to adjourn.
a second?
So you-
We can look at discussion on the one.
Because they've already come up with an advertisement.